everybody? This is Cabale with Cabale Media, and in today's video, we are talking about why you should be using automation/flows part 2. Now, in the last video, we spoke about my top 10 reasons why you should be using automations/flows, and if you're wondering why I keep saying that, because depending on what ESP or email service provider you use, they say workflow, automation, flows. There's different names, different concepts, whatever it is, whatever you use. They're all pretty much the same thing. They just are named differently in different email service providers, and I don't know why. But that's besides the point. So let's get into the video. Let's start with number 11, because the last time we did 1 through 10. Today we're going to do 11 through 20. For me, I like to keep things short and sweet, get to the meat and potatoes of it all, the nitty gritty. You can take this information, run with it, and then utilize it in your email marketing. If you like longer videos, you can just let me know. We can talk like we're having fun and having drinks. But that's besides the point. We're going to do number 11, which is segmented targeting. Segmented targeting is sending the right messages to the right group. People who have bought a certain product, people who have bought within a certain time frame, maybe people of a certain demographic, people from a certain part of the state, people from a different country. Those are all segments. People who have a high AOV or a higher average order value. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will put the video right here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, or one of the few videos so you know how to increase your AOV and strive in email marketing in 2024 and years after. Segmented targeting, it increases response rates because the email that you're sending to them is catered and tailored to them. The language is for them and will always be for them, and it's not going to be some broad information that doesn't make sense. They're more likely to respond and engage with what you're sending them. And then it just makes users happy because they are targeted for what they purchased in the past. I'm sure you've got an email that made no sense and was not tailored to you. Number 11 is segmented targeting, and those are 3 things you should do in order to make your automations and flows work for you. Better analytics. Because you have a consistent flow of emails, you're always going to have superior analytics in opposed to sending weekly emails or bi-weekly emails or daily emails. It just provides detailed performance data. You'll see who's opening at a larger scale and opposed to a smaller scale, at what time they're opening, so on and so forth. It pretty much is a regular email, but you just get it from an overall standpoint because it's a consistent flow. You can do year to date, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, and see the data. Whereas a one-off you get just for that particular time, and that changes a lot depending on when you send it. But when you have a consistent flow of emails, you just get better data all the time. Oh, it also identifies what works best. Obviously, depending on what email service provider, you can set your data and your analytics to 7 or 30 days or something like that. Or 30, 60, 90 days, my favorite. And then figure out what has been working in a particular time frame. And it also informs future decisions. You know that maybe in a year from now, you could be sending the same type of email. Obviously, you have to change and tailor the content, but it just informs future decisions because you know what's been working from an overall perspective, just not a weekly perspective. Better analytics, number 12. It's cost effective. You reduce manual labor. You don't have to do, well, I shouldn't say that. Somebody doesn't have to keep doing these emails all the time because it's an automation. You don't have to keep changing them over and over unless you see that these are not performing, then you have to change them at some time. Automations are the best when you're trying to increase your AOV, your customer engagement, your retention. They just have an overall flow, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, of emails coming through all the time. So it's cost effective, reduces manual labor, it lowers acquisition cost. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, when you lower acquisition costs, it's just the more streamlined that the email campaigns become, the lower acquisition it is for each customer. It's just going to be less money for you as the owner or email marketer to bring these customers in. The cost will be much lower and your automations will be streamlined. You maximize your ROI. You're always going to have, and I'm going to keep saying this, a consistent flows of emails coming in. Once you stop sending emails, emails will not go out the way you want them to. You're not going to have that constant, consistent emails over and over again. When you set up these automations, it's kind of like a one and done, set it and forget it. Not necessarily a one and done, but once you set it up, you really don't have to touch it. It will just keep running. God forbid something breaks, but it'll always keep running. And then again, you just go in and tweak when you need to. Being cost effective is number 13 on my list for why you should use automations and workflows. Consistency. It keeps communications regular, and some people don't seem to believe that. A lot of people don't have automation set up. They'd rather do weekly sends. You need these automations to make the communication regular. It builds trust, and it just maintains a steady presence of you being a business in their life, and they will always come back to you for whatever service or item that they may need. So keep consistent is number 14 on my list. It has timely responses. It just sends immediate follow-ups right away, right? So it's like the abandoned cart, or purchasing, or someone who hasn't purchased in months. They're always just there to make sure they're following up. It's like your email marketing virtual assistant next to ChatGPT or AI. The consistent following up, if your order was shipped, if your order delivered, is always going to be there, and you don't have to worry about it. Timely responses are great. It increases satisfaction because your customer always knows what's going on or what's going on in the mix. They know when their package is getting shipped out. They know that they've left something in the cart. They know that they were at one point looking at a certain, let's say, item, and it's still going to be on the back of their mind. And it also identifies why users are inactive. For example, 30, 60, 90 days, it shows, right, they haven't engaged. How can we use this automation to bring them back? How can we win them back? It shows that they haven't purchased, let's say, I don't know, their books in a couple of weeks that they're usually used to buying. The flows will always be better than manual work, just because it always goes by the customer behavior, and you don't even have to worry about it. It's there waiting for them to perform that action and then ready to send that email when it's time to get that email sent to the customer. You reactivate inactive subscribers. We're going to bring it up again, 30, 60, 90. You have to find out which one of those three is the most valuable to you. Then you start to work down. So if 30 days is the most valuable, make a automation for that particular segment, see how it does, and then cater it to the 60 and 90 day. So it reactivates inactive subscribers, but you could also offer incentives to these particular people because you're trying to bring them back in. Whether it's a discount or free shipping, like in the other things we've discussed before, it just reactivates them with you out even trying. So it knows at a certain time when certain people do this activity, this is when we're going to re-engage them. And you don't have to do anything but set up the initial automation and then let it go. Reactivating inactive subscribers is number 16 on my list. Supports customer journey mapping. An example of that, it visualizes the customer journey. It sees what they're doing and then uses the algorithm to send particular messages. You could even do text messages. You could send a particular text message, then an email, or maybe it will go an email first, then a text. It also finds gaps and opportunities to sort of plug in where emails should be sent. And an example of that is, let's say they haven't purchased in 30 days, but they always purchase. So they will do something like that. They say, okay, they haven't purchased in this time. What can we send them at this time to bring them back in? Those would be considered gaps or opportunities. Or the birthday automation, giving them a discount to buy more. There's so much that can be covered, but it covers all touch points, and it's not just basing it off one particular email, it's basing it off everything the customers have been doing. Number 17 supports customer journey mapping. Number 18 improves overall open rates and click-through rates. Why? Again, because it's a consistent flow of emails. Flows automation. It just sends relevant content all the time at a pace that you just wouldn't be able to do normally. You don't even have to think about it. It just keeps doing it as long as the customers are doing something. As long as they're visiting your site, you're always going to have these automations going. It sends the relevant content. You can obviously do A/B testing, which I say that all automations, flows, workflows, regular send should always be A/B testing. And it optimizes the send times. always going to have them being sent at the right time, right place, right person, right content all the time. You don't even have to think about it. 18, improves open and click-through rates. Facilitates cross-selling, upselling, and all the sellings, is 19 on my list. Recommends the related products. We spoke about this before. You can do that in your regular email, but why do it when you can do it in automation? Of course, you still want to do it, but these are just bringing you more ROI and increasing your AOV. It increases, again, AOV, order average value, bringing that up, making the customer spend more money because they always have emails coming in. And then it enhances the customer experience. You want your customers to be happy. You want your customers to see relevant data. You want to make sure that they're getting the right content, because if they don't, you're sending the wrong thing. And number 20 on my list, drumroll please, creates loyalty. It just sends valuable content regularly, normally, all the time, when you need it the most, when they need it the most. And it's just pretty damn cool, right? We love regular email marketing, but automations are the bread and butter of a lot of people's business. I know it just seems confusing because I've said one thing and another thing, but they all kind of come together as a puzzle. You need regular sends, you need monthly sends, but you need the flows to bring in more revenue and to decrease manual work. But it also helps build long-term relationships. You want to be loyal, because if you have, let's say, your regular sends, and then you have your loyalty program, then you have your automations, there's no reason your customers shouldn't be buying, provided that you give relevant content to the right user, to the right segment, at the right time, and it all will work out at the end. So these are the last 10 of the 20 reasons why you should use workflow/automation/flows to help your business grow. Again, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons here. You can email me here, jcabale@cabalemedia.com. You could email me. You could visit the site, cabalemedia.com. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what videos you like, you don't like. That's it.